Nothing has changed, yet my days feel more interesting. I don't know why. Hey! Neat. You want to know something that honestly terrifies me? The idea of having a second shot at life. Because I can't remember how I did shit it the first time around. And so trying to do things a second time around would just... I think it would scare me a bit more, but it would also be new opportunities. It's weird. Back up to 10. Oh, hey, brick. Oh. Gotta watch the cutscene. Got me feeling under, surrounded, feeling under, surrounded, feeling under. Got the feeling round, around, 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 round, around, around, round, 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 round. Feeling under, surrounded. Feeling under, surrounded. Feeling under, surrounded. Already full of darkness. Oh. There you go. Ah. Hmm. Excuse me? Hmm. Ba-da-da-ba-da. Yeah, no. So, picking off from where I last left off on fictional self-story planning, technically I could have it 2 blank character slots as potential additions to the story later on, without having to worry about writing about a character I know nothing about. Now's your chance to be big shot big. Hmm. You know what? Sure. Hmm. So what are some story traits I want to carry over from the potential empty slots into the actual story? Because on one hand, the god of the planet that my fictional self will have been born on, does it have to be a guy or a girl, or can it just be a non-binary god? Probably a non-binary god. NB. Alright. Uh, Ah. No, that is still something I'm debating. Alright, like... Because the whole point of the conflict for my fictional self is technically their existence and how that relates back to the past. Hug a friend. Damn it. Fucking heck. Oh. You. Already got yours done. Just need to get through here. Hmm. 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 Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Uh. Hmm. No, I'm still debating on some things. Hmm. Oh. Alright. Uh, hmm. Oh. Hmm. Mm. Not what I meant to do. Oh. Whoops. Oh. Oh. Now, there are some details I want to keep the same, some things I want to change overall. One detail I want to keep the same is the idea that this god and their planet has been around for a while, and an old friend of that god's had their own little research area and plans, but ultimately didn't live to fruition, so that god ended up just leaving the area alone as a touching remembrance of that former friend. Only for, like, what, 1,000 years later for some little kid to traps about the place, turn it into their private playground, and then accidentally set off the ritual on a dark and stormy night. Essentially wiping the whole place off the map. And creating a new calamity in the process. And so, the quote-unquote god of this planet wants to, you know, get rid of the fucking calamity. So it keeps trying to fucking lock the fucker thing away without really understanding what it is or knowing why an area just fucking up and disappeared. It thought the quote-unquote god of the planet just thought that, damn, an astral anomaly appeared and fucking ate the area. So, pissed off? Yeah, kill contain order on the calamity as they see it as. Only through thousands and thousands of years of fucking bitter, hateful war and struggling, to later find out, oh hey, the calamity has gained sentience and intelligence as time has gone on, and she does not like being hunted down to the ends of the earth every single damn day of the week. Of course, there's a communication error in the dynamic chain between the god and the soldiers that they send to contain this calamity over time, to the point where when my fictional self meets up with that fucking god, that god realizes, wait a second, why does this character feel familiar? And yeah, Calamity Girl ends up reminding that god of their old friend. And so it's just very fucking awkward. But of course, even if the god would want to leave the girl the fuck alone, about thousands and thousands of years of war, conquest, and, I don't know, convincing its followers that it needs to be eradicated and or contained for the safety and benefit of the planet. Yeah, that doesn't just go away overnight, even if the god wishes it did. And of course, there's intentional miscommunication on part of the actual ones in charge for that section, because they're like, it is our duty, we are going to do it. Motherfucker, why have you changed your mind? Oh. And so, yeah. Ultimately, some petty motherfucker that served under the god over, like, eons decided, hey, this person doesn't deserve to exist. I will erase them from the history and timeline of this world. And considering the budget they had available, few clever words, it was damn easy to get the god to trick the god into getting the materials necessary. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if up until that point the god had been getting the materials necessary to eradicate the calamity from their timeline. The living disaster from their historical timeline permanently, only for like the day, like the week before they were going to carry out the plan, my fictional self going, hey, yeah, I figured out all your bullshit, and I've arranged this one-on-one meeting because you're a fucking ass. I'd like to just live my life with my people and take care of things. And if you don't fucking understand that at this point, then I'm going to fucking start a war. Leave my territory alone, and I will leave you alone, okay? The part speak with your heart. And so the god just, like, is left stumbled and confused, but of course, again, the 1,000 eons and years of serving that one singular goal has driven someone in charge very insane. And so it doesn't take much prompting to fucking find out where the materials for the plan are located, and slowly begin moving them over the course of 1,000 years. At which point, yeah, no. My fictional self gets erased from the timeline in history, and the god of that planet has to live with that as the outcome and suffer through it because one of their favorite trees also gets taken to the void with me. And yeah, that's the backstory I have in mind of my fictional self. They get banished into non-existence and almost completely erased. But of course, because they are stubbornly and very consistently hard to kill or contain, they actually survive and just end up stuck in the unknown between, along with plots of land and dynamic pieces of the former history that ultimately also got erased from the world and never got built in the original way, in their original form. So now my fictional self is trying to jump across multiverses and help people with their problems in order to create sparks of absurdity that can allow her to eventually build up enough power to overcome the bullshit and just visit her home world at some point. That's not to mention the idea of my fictional self being trapped inside a black hole for, like, eons at some point. After which they then end up even harder to kill, because, oh joy, their core exists inside of a fucking black hole. How the fuck are you going to hit that? All the while, my fictional self is trying to recover their mental health while being hunted down and traumatized by said hunting corpse, who take unreasonable joy in doing what they do. Of course, not everyone's fully aware of what's going on, but it is some spacey history. That would be a good way to do it. Have the fucker who orchestrates the rearrangement of materials from one location to another, slowly over time in order to enact the plan, be the very fucker that ultimately sits on an elder council of people who have served diligently for years in the support of that mission. So even if they're no longer an active part of going out and trying to fucking delete my character from existence, that fucker is still going to be around and influencing people within that branch of the god's political network, causing problems in the long run. Great, now I've got a sniffly and sneezy nose. Lovely. So yeah, we've got a traumatized fictional character that's supposed to represent me, a traumatized god, which isn't all that surprising given the rest of fiction and history, a completely fucked up and, at this point, mentally insane, by the point they have an impact on the story, mentally insane elder person within a council that just, kind of stops listening and it becomes their whole identity at some point to a level of unhealthy that even like someone who's trying to maintain world order is going to be like, hold the fuck up! What the hell are you doing? That. Thanks for taking the heat. So, yeah. So there's miscommunication, unexplained bullshit, and malicious third parties all within that history. I'd say that's pretty good coverage of the dynamics available. Dynamics involved in fucking that bullshit. What in the fuck? Well, that's disappointing. Pretty sure I hit the button the first time, but whatever. But yeah, the unknown between is basically a void for those trapped between death and life. Okay, so my original plan was to have the god as an antagonist, but by making the god someone who got caught in crossfire of manipulation via misunderstandings, a lack of communication, and malicious shenanigans, that would actually make for a more dynamically interesting story. Oh yeah. With how old and tired the god is, with all their memories, they would want a successor and or inheritor, which is why they look into their friend's research to try and make their own progress on it. Only for that to backfire, and yeah, that could be useful. Of course, the core personality and sentiment would still be there under the surface, but the personality would be primarily the one who had inherited the will. Where then the fucker that's on the Elder Council can then be manipulative enough to try and end the god before things get turned right, and that leaves space for the dynamics between other blank character slots to then try and help them do things to some degree. Because of course, a megalomaniac motherfucker from the Elder Council is not going to be doing good shit to the world. And although my fictional self will be nowhere near able to actually return and fucking help undo the harm, that doesn't mean they can't form social connections with those from that world who visit the unknown between in order to work on different deals and offerings between the dynamic organizations that preside there. Plus, it would also then keep some consistency. With my fictional self growing up the rusting grounds over time and interactions, because to become its own thriving community and a piece of an anomaly within the unknown between, where people get a break from feeling trapped between life and death and just can, rest. Because I'm gonna be real, being trapped between life and death is probably not a fun experience. So even if my fictional self does eventually achieve her goal, I wouldn't be surprised if she then chooses to only visit her home planet because the resting grounds has become a better home for her than that old world ever used to be. Grief, struggle, moving on. Talk about server shenanigans. Hmm. 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 No, even gods grow old and choose to die. Hmm. 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 Whoops. Fair enough. Hmm. Still asleep? Pretty much still asleep. Okay. But yeah, that's basically all I've got in mind. To those of you who snuck by and watched part of this recording, even just a fragment, thank you. Human body, you suck! For those of you who stuck around and watched a good chunk through, or if not the whole thing, I deeply appreciate it. Hope you have a good day, good night, whatever time it is. Or non-time, even if you have to deal with that. And if it isn't good, I hope it either improves, or at least stays manageable for you out there. Our name is Flicker, we've got our dailies done, so we'll be seeing you all later. Bye! Okay, maybe I chose a bad spot. Hold up. There we go. Bye!